So here we are in the actual space itself. And so I thought what we could do to document this is to kind of give a very basic tour of the structure of the show, of how it's set up. So to begin with, the show starts downstairs. So we start with the space here, which is the door. As you can see from the outside, we create this whole entire experience and ambiance coming in through this space here.
Are you here for the seance? You may knock when you are ready.
Once we arrive, the space has music playing, ambiance and creation that basically moves us through this here.
Announcing Mr. Leslie Flint and Miss Ivy Northridge. Wait. Madame Desperance, please wear your name tag at all times. And, of course,
this is where we really want to establish not necessarily the ambiance, but the transition of the space. Because once they go upstairs to the seance itself, we want them to be fully bought in. After you feel comfortable in this space, and we felt like we've created enough of a transition into the world that we're trying to create, that's when we move into creating the actual performance itself, or at least getting into the storyline.
No.
So now that we're up on the stairs, the next part of the show begins. So that's the first part for the buy-in. The next part is here for ambiance setting.
Check it out. First.
I just think this is always an absolute pleasure. Of course,
And so what we did is we wanted everyone to be in the space to be able to see the actual table itself, but not be able to sit at the table. We want to be able to add the value to the space here by allowing people not to see it, but to be able to be around it. Then we leave them in an awkward silence for the actual performance to happen. Tonight, we are going to try to do something that has never been done before. This is super important because that awkward tension is really what builds in the ambiance for the seance itself. If we were to immediately start into the seance, I feel like we miss out on a lot of that environmental setting. So, and it's not just a pacing of giving time for people to be in the space, there's a pacing of uncomfortability. So if we look at it in rhythmically, instead of doing this in a 2 or a 3, we want to do this in a 5 beat. The reason being is because the 2 beat gives people comfortability, the 3 beat would set people off, but the 5 beat is awkwardly long. We ask that one specific spirit join us at the table tonight. Harry Houdini, are you there?
Spirits seem temperamental tonight. Sometimes it's hard for them.
So that's really what we're looking for, is that awkward uncomfortableness, so that when the presence of the person coming into the space to do the performance feels intense, as well as when we actually start the seance. Nothing should ever be started on a stable ground. Everything should always feel uncomfortable throughout the performance.
We shall try to.
O great spirits on the other side, we must ask that one spirit joins us tonight. We ask for one Harry Houdini to show himself at the table. To be able to join us in this one final night that we try to bring him presence to the world that we're in.
ask you to join us at the table. Harry, please show yourself.
Again, it's all of it building layers on layers on layers. So using the aesthetic of the space that we have now, using the ambiance of sound and music to be able to get us to this point.
And shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.